With the Nets missing 2 starters and their 2 centers entering foul trouble early, Spencer Dinwiddie came up huge and helped the Nets grab a 124-104 victory over the Orlando Magic in their 3rd in-season tournament game last night. And I think it's time we talk about how serious this Nets team truly is and just how important Dinwiddie is to the team. If you guys enjoyed the video though, then please give it a like, and if you're new to the channel, then hit that subscribe button and notification bell. As mentioned, the Nets grabbed a 20-point victory last night, beating the Orlando Magic in their 3rd in-season tournament matchup. Spencer Dinwiddie's 29 points, 9 assists, and plus-minus rating of +25 were without a doubt the reason for them grabbing this key win. While you're not going to get a game like this out of Dinwiddie every night, he's absolutely helped them in every game that they've played, and not having him on the court hurts them. This season, with Dinwiddie on the court for them, the Nets have a net rating of 8.82, an offensive rating of 199.7, and a defensive rating of 110.9, versus a negative net rating of 4.42, an offensive rating of 111.6, and a defensive rating of 116.05. Now, if we just include games where Dinwiddie has played and not the Miami game that Dinwiddie was injured for, the Nets have an even worse net rating, coming in with a -6.99 net rating, an offensive rating of 112.2, and a defensive rating of 119.2. The offensive rating with Dinwiddie on the court is the 4th best in the NBA, the defensive rating would be 13th, and the net rating is the 4th best, while the -4.4 net rating without Dinwiddie in all games would be the 8th worst, and that -6.99 net rating would be the 3rd worst in the entire league. So Dinwiddie clearly affects this team's ability to win, and it makes sense with the fact that he's a 6'6 guard that can play on or off the ball and is a decent enough defender that it doesn't hurt the Nets as a team. Looking at the Nets players' total possessions played, Dinwiddie comes in 4th place with 586 possessions played, while also being the only Nets player in the top 5 of possessions played with a positive plus-minus rating. Dinwiddie's +10 rating is the 2nd best on the team, tracking behind only Nick Claxton, who's played in the fewest possessions of any Nets player this season, so that just goes to show you Dinwiddie's impact right there. In terms of the Nets players' best plus-minus totals for the season, Dinwiddie's +53 comes in 1st place, with Lonnie Walker and Day'Ron Sharpe trailing behind him, and surprisingly enough, Dorian Finney-Smith, Royce O'Neal, and Ben Simmons come in with the 3 worst ratings. Speaking of Simmons though, it seems that he'll be out for quite a bit of time, as this news broke yesterday that Simmons has a nerve impingement, which doesn't look good for him coming back anytime soon. Ben Simmons' agent downplayed the injury when asked about it, but if we take a look at this tweet, this is something I clearly remember, and it brings back a good point. Kyrie in November of 2019 had a shoulder impingement and went from missing a few games to missing November 16th to January 10th. Irving's agent didn't publicly say anything about the injury. The Nets accommodated. Then, in this reply right here, it accurately pointed out the fact that the Nets and their head coach were very vague on the timetable, and it only makes fans now question how serious this injury for Simmons is, and I won't be surprised if Simmons is out at least 1 or 2 months, as Kyrie was out from, like I said, November to January with his shoulder impingement. While it is a different injury, it's still similar enough, and with the Nets' history of downplaying injuries, I bet it'll be a similar story here. With that being said about Simmons' availability though, I think the Nets need to pull the trigger on something I've wanted to see them do for the long term, and that's go with the backcourt of Spencer Dinwiddie and Cam Thomas in the starting lineup. I want the Nets to build around Thomas and make sure they re-sign him long term, but Thomas does have a -18.5 net rating when on the court without Dinwiddie. I do think that this has to do with the fact that Thomas is not the greatest defender, and also just the other players that were out there with him. However, the Nets have a +14.2 net rating with the tandem of Dinwiddie and Thomas together on the court for them, which would be the best net rating in the entire NBA. You simply put need to keep these guys in your plans going forward, as it's only yielded great results for you. I'd like to think that Cam Thomas will improve that net rating with the more that he gets to play, and also if he just learns a thing or two from the players and coaching staff that he's got around him. If we include Mikal Bridges in there, the team has a +15.4 net rating, even despite Mikal having a -10 net rating on the season. So while things will be tricky with the cap, and I don't want to see the Nets overpay Bridges, as I feel he's truly a 3rd option on most championship teams, I think those 3 guys are positive pieces for you to build around going forward. And if you can keep them while acquiring a superstar somehow, then I think this Nets team will be in good shape. However, despite 4 starters missing key time, with Claxton having only played 3 games, Johnson only having played 4 games, Simmons 6 games, and Cam Thomas 8 games, it's remarkable to think that the Nets, having played the 8th toughest strength of schedule, currently hold the 7th seed in the East and have a positive winning percentage with their 6-5 record. And for in-season tournament sakes, they have a 2-1 record with a plus 20-point differential. This Nets team is much better than I anticipated, and I don't think Mikal Bridges has even been close to the player he was for the Nets last season. With Cam Johnson looking like he was close to his old self last night, and the potential for Bridges' play to take off if he can get back on track, this Nets team is in pretty good shape, and while I don't believe they're anywhere close to contending, they have the assets as well as players to build around to make themselves an attractive destination for players, and I think that, along with hoping for them to stay healthy, is all you can ask for with where they currently stand. Anyway, though, let me know in the comments what you think about the Nets, any players, or any topics I talked about today. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, then make sure to give it a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'm SCJ, and I am out. Peace.